Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you something very cool today. I'm going to be taking you through the whole feature in the FreeCAD 1.1 and how I use a macro to save me some CPU processing. And what I mean by that is instead of explaining to you, I'm just going to show it to you. So let's create a file. Now let's create a simple block. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is just to show you what I mean. Let's just make it symmetric. Good. I'm gonna close out here. I'm gonna make simple pad feature. Okay, now we have our block. I'm gonna create some holes. Okay, for this purpose, I'm gonna create a lot of holes. I'm gonna create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 holes. Okay. All right, I'm not going to constrain these because that's not the point. Okay, as you can see, there's 6 holes here. All right, I'm going to select my sketch. I'm going to go to this hole feature, and I'm going to select the standard as the isometric regular, and I'm going to select M5. Okay, now I want the depth to be about 8 millimeters since our block is 10 millimeters in size. Okay, all right, so you can see there's some holes there. Okay, which is fine. You see how I'm able to move around. It's pretty fairly responsive. There's no lag, which is perfect, okay? But let's change one setting. Instead of the hole type to have clearance, how about we do a model thread? And we want to see these threads, okay? I'm going to update thread, and I'm going to click OK. Okay? Now, it's responsive right now, but this is a fairly simple design, right? It doesn't have a lot of features. Um, doesn't have a lot of features, so it doesn't use a lot of CPU processing. But imagine you have a very complex model. You have a complex model, it starts taking up a lot of speed. Your file becomes lag. There's a lot of lag that you start to visualize, and everything is just not smooth, and it decreases the experience that you want from FreeCAD. You lose the ability to quickly change your model or redesign your model or add features to your model because now that you have holes, um, and because of these threads, the CPU is taking up a lot of processing, and it creates a lot of lag. So what I do instead is go back to hole and set it to clear. So a lot of people will finish their modeling. So let's say this is your completed model and you're ready to 3D print it. And so when you're about to export, you go to your hole settings, you create model thread, hit OK. Okay, now that you have your model and then you export, well, you got to select your file, click on export, and then when you open your file in your preferred slicer, in my case Bamboo Studio, since I have a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini, you can see there are threads. You can clearly see these threads right here, as you can see. Right, these are your threads. So a lot of people do that. Now, imagine your tree has 50,000 things. It's kind of hard to go through each of the holes and then convert them into the model threads. It takes a lot of time, takes basically it takes a lot of time, right? And because your file is already complicated and it's taking a lot of processing, each hole that you start adding threads to adds up. So what I do instead of going to a model thread, what I do is I do tab drill to be threaded. I hit OK. Now there's this feature called a macro, which is basically repetitive tasks automated. So in this case, let's see, I've created a macro called thread on export. So what that basically does is I'll set it to be drilled, but I'll click on this macro to export the file instead of the regular file export. What that will do is it will automatically convert those holes into threaded holes. And I'll show you an example right now. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to click on execute. Okay. It's going to export the file. As you can see, I have a new unnamed file. I click on it. This is the old file. Clicking is right. You can see that the export has these threads, but when we are editing our file in FreeCAD, it's not going to have any threads. Okay, so I can close this. I can save it as unnamed since I haven't saved it. As you can see, this file now has threads. Okay, so let me close this. Let me close this also. Okay. Now I've posted this idea basically came from what's B-Man 2000. He posted an article in the forum, FreeCAD forum, on August 27, 2024. I'm looking for a macro workbench that allows me to create threaded parts in a model and only enable them physically when I export the model to a 3D printer. And that's exactly what I've done. I've posted a solution here. So I think one of the moderators still has to approve it, but I've posted the code that you basically paste into your macro. Okay, so let me show you. Let me show you a file project that I've been working on. Okay, as you can see, you can see the tree. There are a lot of padding, a lot of pockets, a lot of holes. So you can see these have threads already on them, right? But when I want to change the model, it will take a lot of processing. So how can I save myself from all this? That's the whole point of creating a macro. So to create a macro, you go to macro, you click on macros. Since I already have it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another macro called, I'm just going to say duplicate thread on export 3MF, which is our 3D printer ready file. Okay, I'm going to click OK, and here's where you paste the code. Paste the code here, and it's going to do a few things. It's going to save your file in the downloads folder, and it's going to export a .3mf file, which is what your 3D printer requires, your slicer requires. Okay, and you just save this file and close. So whenever you create a file with holes, just make sure you select tab drill to be threaded and have that file ready. And when you're ready to export, you go to macro, you go to recent macros, and then you just click on it. You probably saw briefly there were threads that went away. And now you have a 3MF file. If you open that in your slicer, you can see it has threads. Okay, I hope you try this out. This is going to save you a lot of hassle. It's going to save you a lot of time, and it's going to, most importantly, save you a lot of CPU processing. Okay, leave a like, comment if you have any questions. I hope you enjoy.